Google, one of the world's largest and most influential tech companies, has been making headlines due to its recent layoffs. As part of its parent company Alphabet, Google has been cutting jobs from across different divisions, leaving many employees uncertain about their futures. With workers petitioning for better job security and the tech industry facing economic shifts, it's clear that even the biggest companies are not immune to workforce reductions. Google has been laying off employees in different ways, impacting multiple departments. According to reports, the company has cut jobs in Google Cloud, recruiting, and other divisions. These layoffs follow a pattern of workforce reductions across the tech industry, with companies tightening budgets and restructuring to remain competitive. The Google Cloud division has been hit particularly hard, with employees expressing concerns of how the layoffs were handled. Many workers were caught off guard, and some have even spoken out about poor communication from leadership. And this is coming after the fact that 12,000 employees last year were laid off, and they have continued to lay off more and more workers. So people who are still working for Google are fearing for their job security. Why is Google laying off so many employees? Despite being one of the most profitable tech companies, Google's decision to cut jobs is largely based on cost-cutting measures and efforts to increase efficiency. So even though the stock is at very sky-high levels, we do have to take into account that they want to remain even more profitable. If we take a look at the stock in the past 3 months, it is down 20% from its all-time highs. So they do want to cut those costs and remain efficient. So the main reason there's layoffs is the economic uncertainty. Many tech companies, including Google, are being cautious due to the uncertain economic conditions. Shifting priorities, Google is focusing on AI and cloud computing, leading to restructuring in other areas. So they're focusing more on AI and cloud computing, and they are taking the budget away from other divisions. Google is also facing investor pressure. Shareholders often expect higher profits, and companies may lay off employees to reduce expenses and boost stock value. This is not uncommon with publicly traded companies, and Google is no exception. With a market cap of $2 trillion, they do have to prioritize their shareholders because they are publicly traded. And the investors are always seeking more and more growth, so Google does have to make some changes in order to please their investors. And even though they laid off 12,000 employees in January 2023, this is not the first and last time we're going to be seeing these layoffs. And it seems so far that Google is setting the record for making one of the company's largest workforce reductions in history. Because we do have to take into account that these Google workers are getting incredibly high compensation, upwards into the lower and mid six-figure range, especially with that RSU, the stock compensation. But it does seem that the Google employees are fighting back and for their job security. In response to these layoffs, Google employees have taken action. Thousands of workers have signed a petition addressing the CEO, Sundar Pichai, demanding better job security and more transparent communication regarding layoffs. Their main concern include the lack of job stability despite strong company profits, unclear layoff processes that leave many employees uncertain about their future, as well as the need for a better severance package and transition support. This petition highlights growing frustration among workers who feel that Google's success should translate to greater employee protection rather than sudden job cuts. Now, Google is not any ordinary company. Many employees, especially the tech workers, have studied their whole lives to get into this company, and losing your job at the snap of a finger really hits home. But Google's layoffs reflect a broader trend in the tech industry. Just a few years, tech jobs were seen as some of the most secure and highest paying positions available. However, with multiple companies downsizing, not just Google but Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla, many tech workers are realizing that no job is completely safe. So we do have some key takeaways about job security in tech, which include tech workers that need to diversify their skills to remain valuable as companies shift towards AI and automation. Relying on a single employer can be risky, as even big tech firms are making unexpected cuts. So a lot of people are creating their own secondary income through side hustles, and this includes gig work or even side businesses. So, what can employees do? So, for workers worried about layoffs, preparing for uncertainty is key, and there are 5 steps that you can take if you get laid off. The first one is giving yourself time to recover as well as find that new position. You do want to look for your new position when you have a clear mental state. The second is going to be seeking legal counsel. If you get laid off, HR will give you a document to sign, and it is basically waiving your right to sue the company and give the control to the company over what you say about them. Now, this isn't always the case, and you most likely won't need to seek legal counsel, but it is something to consider. And the third is you want to negotiate your layoff if you can. So you can negotiate the terms of your departure, just like how you would negotiate the terms of and you can negotiate like how that it would take for you to transition your departure and help offload some of your workload to your former employees. Fourth, you want forward-thinking job hunting. So while employees who are laid off are eager to find work, you do want to do the lazy man's way of finding a job. So that includes setting professional profiles to open to work on LinkedIn, and you also want to maximize your searchability by recruiters so they can find your profile, find your resume, and actually reach out with you with a job. In addition to this, you want to actively apply to open positions. Now, right now, with especially the emergence of AI, it is highly competitive, so you want to apply to as many jobs as you can for maximum exposure. And the best way to find a job is actually to build connections. It is easier to know someone that is already inside a company who can move your resume internally versus blindly applying on a job board such as Indeed. So overall, Google's layoffs serve as a reminder that even top companies can reduce their workforce when business priorities shift. While Google's employees are pushing for better job security, the tech industry as a whole is facing rapid change. Workers must adapt, stay informed, and take steps to protect their careers in an unpredictable market.